Hey, I've been working recently on the tutorial for 868 Back, and now people have a lot of different thoughts about tutorials. I'll sort of outlay my position. Uh, Figuring out the game is a lot of the game, and it would be nice to just not have a tutorial and kind of just integrate the figuring it out into the game. And there was a movement, I guess, in the early 2000s to do away with tutorials and just like integrate the learning process into the game. And like the way people were doing it kind of worked well for a game that playing it once takes 10, 15, 20 hours and then you don't play it again, right? You have, rather than having a tutorial phase and a game phase, you'd have exploring this area and you learn this thing and like maybe contextual pop-ups that show you things. So, like the tutorial and the game are the same thing because you just play it once, and like that kind of model is awkward when you try and fit it to a heavily replayable game. Yeah, it just doesn't. You're not after an hour finding having a place where it's appropriate for the pop-up to come and tell you this. So it's yeah. Well, I like it in principle. It doesn't work for like what I consider the main line of games, which is games that you learn and play over and over again, and in playing figure out more depth. But like I know it's kind of a provocative viewpoint in modern video games to call this the mainstream of games, because it was for many years sidelined. It's maybe coming back to the mainstream with what people are calling roguelikes now, except that a lot of those I don't really quite understand why people are calling them roguelikes when they're not the roguelike genre. But also, like, structurally they're based around a loop that a short loop, like a roguelike, that drives a long unlock loop where you're gaining new powers, and often like the game isn't winnable on the first try, that kind of stuff. But like historically, most games were soccer, chess, backgammon, drafts, the games that people learn the rules and then play them many, many times. And this is what my games are like. This is what it's normal for games to be like. It's a historical anomaly to have games that you play once and then never play again, and it's a historical anomaly to have games that playing repeatedly gets you an advantage in the game over people who haven't played as many times, right? Like, you don't, if someone's playing their first round of chess and someone's playing their 100th round of chess, like, that doesn't mean that the 100th round chess has an extra queen or something. That's like, all of these things are interesting. It's just like the historical norm is for games to be a certain way, and just because there was a lot of money and like military support to try and drive a certain other kind of game for a few recent years, people get an idea that a different model is normal. Anyway, just to say that's unnecessary background, but I have I try to make my games that people can figure them out for themselves. I leave a lot for people to figure it out for themselves, but I've ended up making tutorials, like explicit do this tutorials, because I find that there's a certain set of fundamentals that people need to learn to feel comfortable going through the loop and then playing on. And it's been interesting watching a lot of new people coming to my games recently with the Secret Life of Games podcast series that they're doing, which is amazing. Like, thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, there's new people coming to them and going through the learning process for the first time. There's also people who played them back a decade ago coming back to them. It's interesting because I'm working on a sequel to 868 Hack. It's especially interesting seeing the people coming to 868 Hack the first time. A lot of people who played it before didn't remember that there was a tutorial, and when they play the tutorial again, coming back to it, and yeah, so I'd had this idea for the sequel that I was going to do. I was going to have 3 options for the tutorial. Like there'd be a cyberpunk character introduced to you, say, "Hey, you want to be a hacker? I can show you the ropes. I'll give you a full tutorial, or if you've done some hacking before, like hint, if you've played 868 Hack, I can just show you what's the new tech in the last, what's shiny and new." Or option 3, like I'm a hacker. I figure things out for myself. Like I don't need this. I wanted to have that option free because a lot of players have said that just the figuring things out in my games from scratch without any of that support is something they've really valued, and I get that, but that's people who have a special level of confidence already, and I would love for all of you to have that confidence, to feel that you can figure something out without that little support. But where most people are, they need a little feeling like they're held, just like guided onto it a little bit, and then they start figuring it out for themselves, and the ball starts rolling, and that's fine. But yeah, the especially interesting thing looking at the Secret Life of Games Discord chat is that for so many people who played the original, still coming back to it several years later, they find the tutorial really valuable to just remind them how it works. So my idea of having a medium level of the tutorial of I've played the original, so just show me the new stuff. Like, probably for most people, like they've been playing the other games, they've had their life going, and this hasn't been in their head the whole time, like me. Like they're just gonna, like, if they remember most of it, it'll just take them 2 minutes to breeze through it anyway. So yeah, this cute idea of having a separate layer of tutorial for if you've played the original game is maybe not so important, because people who've played the original game will just benefit from a refresher, unless they really feel confident to just figure it out for themselves again, which, like, you can. Tutorials should be optional. Yeah, so that's just a short few minutes for just what I was thinking. Happy New Year, thanks for your support, and yeah, still working on this game. There's not so much of what I'm working on at the moment is just like to explain it. I have to explain so much else before it, and the best way to explain that is for you to see it in the game. So it's just like not. I did the crowdfunding, and there's people saying like, "Oh, I hope it's coming out soon." And it's just like, it will come out when it's ready, and that's better than soon. And it's not that long. It's this. By the time I post this, it's this year. I'm recording this on New Year's Eve, but yeah, it's this year. It's not too far into this year. It's coming. But like, when I go into a cave and just like work on something, and you're not hearing anything from me for a while. That's good. That's where the magic happens. And yeah, like, more to say soon. Okay, thanks for listening. Goodbye.